Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Malt channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on my day off. And today we are going to talk about a highly anticipated fragrance that, thank God, my decanter sent me super fast before anyone else, so I can give you guys a full comprehensive review on this super hyped fragrance right now at the end of the year. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel as we head towards 27,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. Deep dive into my over 900 no hype videos. It'll probably hit 1,000 very soon. And of course, shop with our friends, our affiliates, our decanters. And if you want to shop on the affiliate links, you can do so as well. It does greatly help the channel. Thank you very much for all of your support. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than the very hyped and much anticipated Bvlgari Tygar Extrait. Yes, Bvlgari Tygar Extrait de Parfum. And this is the first flanker of Tygar after Tygar has been duped and copied in many other formulas like Hedonist. And a lot of people are anticipating this. And this is right after, I believe, Bvlgari released an art version of Tygar. It's kind of like Tygar in an art bottle. And then now we have Extrait. And again, the first man I want to thank that sent this over is Larry Mendez, one of the best decanters in the game, more focused, I would say, with new and unreleased stuff. And so if you want to get all the hyped new stuff, really, Larry is your guy. And he also mixes his own perfumes, and that carries a lot of fanfare in Fragcom, guys. So I want to thank you, Larry. Hit him below. I'll put the link. Okay, so before I spray this thing and give you guys my full breakdown, let's go back and do a quick recap on Tygar. Bvlgari Tygar is one of the most popular perfumes that ever came out, of course, by Jacques Cavalier, the guy that's behind a lot of, not every Louis Vuitton perfume that's, really big out there. And Bvlgari Tygar really captured us with a great grapefruit and ginger combination that eventually progressed into a beautiful ambroxan note that had some musk and some power. And that combination, I would say, of ginger, the warming ginger, the grapefruit, bitter grapefruit, and the ambroxan, the muskiness really got us. And so definitely it is a highlight type of perfume that you should have in your collection. Again, duped many, many times, and the formula has also been copied many, many times by other perfume houses. Okay, so it is timely to talk about this Extrait, or to release it rather. And so of course the big question is, how much of a difference are we gonna get on this new Extrait version? Are we gonna get a totally new perfume, like how Francis Kurkdjian completely reworked the Extraits of Dior, or are we gonna get more of the same? Or what are the differences that we will get here with Bvlgari Tygar Extrait? Let's go spray this thing right now. Almost finished it. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, the latest and highly anticipated fragrance from Bvlgari Tygar Extrait de Parfum. Now, let me say this outright, that you are not going to get a totally different fragrance, okay? Straight up, okay? This is not the reworked Dior Extrait that Francis Kurkdjian did. You are going to, very much get the scent profile, the overall scent profile of Tygar. All the strongest, most beautiful points of Tygar are going to be in the Extrait. So that's one thing I want to say in terms of expectations before I hack this fragrance, that it's not a totally different fragrance, all right? It's still very much Tygar. Now, with the opening, as you all know, the opening of the original Tygar does have grapefruit. And here, of course, they went mysterious and they're just calling it a grapefruit accord, okay? And grapefruit is one of the most popular notes, especially nowadays, popularized by Tygar because it's citrusy but also bitter, and it goes well with the other notes of Tygar. Now, the grapefruit accord right here, in my opinion, and again, this is just me with what I detect, in my opinion, there are other citruses involved in this grapefruit accord. And that's one of the differences that I got compared to the original Tygar, where grapefruit was introduced really by them, and then it really was something that shined. It was a spotlight note. It's still a spotlight note here, but definitely you can smell, or I could smell, some background citruses, maybe some bergamot, maybe even some mild mandarin, but there's definitely a mild citrus accord that backs up the grapefruit that comes out here. And again, for those that are fans of Tygar, maybe they can nitpick this, I can say that's one of the things that I enjoy. It's that citrus grapefruit accord that comes out in the opening of this fragrance. Now, another thing that I detected right here with Bvlgari Tygar Extrait, that's maybe not on the notes and nobody's gonna talk about it, but I will, is an appearance of a mild leather note. Okay, a mild leather note. And I guess that's why those other citruses are there, to kind of counterbalance this mild leather note that goes really pretty much with the bitterness of the grapefruit. So you are gonna get a mild leather note that really turns this, I would say, slightly darker. And so when you have people that have smelled this fragrance say, you know, I feel like this is a darker version of Tygar, I really feel it's because of that leather note that goes with the grapefruit, the citrus grapefruit accord that comes out here with Tygar Extrait. Now, my first impressions of this fragrance was like, you know, wow, this is still very much Tygar. However, there is that darker and kind of like richer intro. And again, with me, I got to smell different citrusy facets more than just the spotlight, which is the grapefruit note that we've always gotten with the original Tygar. You are going to smell a multifaceted citrus accord with some darker leather right here. Okay. And with that being said, because you've got additional notes, really, and some mild leather, I will say this, that the potency of the initial sillage and projection is definitely there. This thing really projects nicely. I would say really strong sillage and projection, especially in the intro as you spray this fragrance. And of course, hey, that should be like that because, hey, this is an Extrait, all right? It should be much thicker, richer, and potent. And that's exactly what you'll get in the initial sillage and projection of this one. Okay, so now let's head into the mid of Bvlgari Tygar Extrait. And of course, you are going to get the second hallmark note that Bvlgari Tygar is well known for, and that's going to be your ginger. Absolutely. And that ginger is going to be flanked still by some of the citruses as well as a dark woody patchouli note. Okay, and like I said, that dark tone set by that mild leather in the beginning is continued by the dark but woody patchouli. All right, and that's why they call this fragrance citrus woody, thanks to the patchouli that's in here, and also that dry ginger that sets up again that signature spicy, warming Bvlgari Tygar smell, you know, that they've owned. And I've always really given them credit for that combination. You're gonna get spicy, warming ginger, dry woods, dark woods here in the middle of this fragrance right here. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And again, it's not a departure. This is definitely Tygar, but of course, you know, I like the performance that goes with it. Still potent right here in the mid. So it's woody ginger that mixes with some of the citrusy facets of this fragrance. Still beautiful in my opinion. Very much Tygar. Okay, now let's head into the dry down of Bvlgari Tygar Extrait de Parfum. Now, one thing I will say is that it's the intro where there are some changes, like I said, with some slight leather and a multifaceted citrus accord. But here in the dry down, if you can spot it, you are going to find the other change. And that is the replacement of the, I would say, synthetic smelling, musky bomb of ambroxan that is, you know, well liked within Tygar. But the replacement is that you're getting a much more natural ambergris here in the dry down of Bvlgari Tygar. And even for me, I was able to really detect that and say, wow, okay, that's a nice big difference right there. And it's funny because I go back to all the times that I've described ambergris, and I've always said the word like mineralic. It's kind of like a mineral type smell on top of some slight saltiness, right? And it's funny how Bvlgari describes it exactly as that. And you will get a more natural smelling, like I said, mineralic ambergris that comes out here instead of a highly musky and potent ambroxan. And that I do like. I mean, that I do like. I like the change right there. Of course, ambroxan is well known, but then in my opinion, at this point, I do have a lot of perfumes that have ambroxan. Le Manzate, definitely one of them, from Louis Vuitton. Also made by the same guy, same perfumer. But I like this change. I like this more natural, mineralic ambergris that comes out here instead of the ambroxan. Okay, and of course, you'll still get the continuance of the ginger. Ginger definitely is one of the most potent notes out here, that you'll still smell that ginger down the line to the dry down, like even 6 hours, 7 hours in. And the big one that I thought was a wild card was Peru Balsam, right? And Peru Balsam is a slightly sweet, ambery, balsamic type of note that, you know, is not in the original Tygar. And I will say this, guys, that, okay, you can smell it if you nitpick it. Okay, it is not overall strong that you're going to get a total switch, like a sweet ambery switch, but it's going to be there. Okay, the Peru Balsam is going to be there, but mostly, like I said, on this dry down, it's going to be the ambergris that shines, which I think you guys will like, as well as still the ginger and maybe even the woodsiness of the patchouli continuing on. Is there going to be musk in this? I think there is, but it's like really mild musk, and it's not the musky ambroxan bomb that really, you know, this musk comes from. It's kind of like a gradient musk towards the end, but ultimately it's a nice opportunity to smell that ambergris, and of course, you know, that dried ginger continuing on. Again, Peru Balsam's here, but I don't think it's as strong as expected. I've tried this sample, it's almost dead, multiple times, and you know, it is really lightly sweet ambery, but still the other notes reign supreme in the dry down of this fragrance right here. Okay, so what do I think of this fragrance right here? Bvlgari Tygar Extrait de Parfum. First off, I'm really glad that it's still Tygar. You know, that they didn't really rework it so much that it would become a totally different fragrance. And when we look at flankers and extraits, really, it's just an opportunity to either, you know, not reinvent the wheel, but to enhance the fragrance and maybe even reintroduce the fragrance to new people that are, you know, trying this. And I think that's precisely what Tygar Extrait is. Yes, there are some nice enhancements, but ultimately it's the Tygar formula that's gonna win you over. Somebody new that's trying this stuff will fall in love with the Tygar formula all over again, just like the original. And for those that are already fans of the fragrance, you are going to get to smell some enhancements right here. Definitely increased potency, increased richness, as well as, like I said, that darker side in the beginning, a multifaceted citrus accord, and of course that ambergris that does stand out in the dry down. So these enhancements are nice. I definitely welcome them, and so I like this fragrance overall. Ultimately, it's still going to be Tygar that will, you know, it's that original formula, I think, that's in this, that's going to win the people and, you know, their favor on this fragrance right here. Now, usage-wise, obviously, one thing I like about Bvlgari perfumes is that they're really grabbers. You know, they're grabbers to upscale grabber. Although this is Bvlgari, a very high-end brand, and the fragrances are expensive, Le Gemme being the expensive line of Bvlgari, still though, the reason why people love these perfumes is that you can wear it anytime, anywhere. And although the original Tygar has a much more lively grapefruit that comes out, that you can kind of like wear it spring, summer. I know a lot of people in warmer countries love it. This one is definitely a noir version, I would say, that you can wear in AC environments at nighttime, and it would really feel like, you know, a deeper, richer nighttime version of Tygar. Okay, that I will say. I'm not restricting y'all. You can wear it whenever you want. You can still wear this in, you know, warm weather countries without a doubt. But I do like that Extrait, like reworked, kind of like slightly darker intro that I could wear for upscale occasions, mostly at night. And finally, let's talk about total performance on this fragrance. Now, I did talk about increased potency and of course the consistency of the strength of Tygar Extrait. And mind you, even with this small vial right here, I got to spray, really I got over 12 hours, I think 13 to 14 hours total performance on Bvlgari Tygar Extrait. And definitely the sillage is pretty consistent. So you are getting bang for your buck on the performance, on the Extrait version, more potent right here. So I'm very happy with the performance of this one. Okay, and finally, let's talk about the cost of this fragrance and is it a full bottle worthy scent. So this fragrance you can get right now online at Harrods for, interestingly, $400 something. They didn't jack up the price because it was a new fragrance or it's an Extrait. Some other companies, and I know, like for example, Parfums de Marly, a lot of people are pretty mad about their latest Extrait releases being a lot more expensive for, you know, really more simplistic type of perfumes. Really, this one right here, the range is still within the $400 range. It's still close, if not even the same as the original bottle, which tells me something, that this fragrance is really meant to be a reintroduction of Tygar to maybe a whole new audience, or maybe to remind the current audience of how good this fragrance is or was, right? I think that that's what it is, and that's why Bvlgari released an art bottle of Tygar not too long ago, same old formula, and then months later, just this, right? I think this is a reintroduction or to capture a new market of new fans of Bvlgari Tygar. The fact that they didn't jack up the price, it means that this could be a possible replacement for your original Tygar, and this could be your new full bottle right here because of the pricing being very much the same. And companies do this every other year, you know, with their fragrances, again, to really bring back, you know, the glory of old. And actually after this, the next review I'm gonna do is Desert Moroccan, and that's another fragrance that used to be a really popular, like you had to have it type of fragrance, and it was kind of forgotten down the line, and then now they brought it back with a flanker, you know, an adjustment. And I think the adjustments here, absolutely beautiful, still full bottle worthy in my opinion. Can't gripe about the $400 price. That's sort of like complaining about Louis Vuitton and Bvlgari, which is stupid. It is what it is. This fragrance also, on the literature, they talked about simplicity and clarity versus complexity. And that, I will say, is the strong point of all Jacques Cavalier fragrances. It's all clear. It's all simple. They make you smell good, feel good. They're great formulas, and that's it. You know, it's not really complex. And I'm so glad they put that on the literature, because I've been harping about that for the longest time now, that Jacques Cavalier and his fragrances are simple yet effective. Now, if you want to just test this fragrance, please hit up Larry Mendez. I will link him below. I know he's got a ton of orders on this one, but I reckon he will keep ordering. So if you want like a 2, 3, 5 ml, 10 ml even of Bvlgari Tygar Extrait, the opportunity is there. Please hit him up below. Thank you, Larry. And that is it. That is my no hype review on the latest Bvlgari Tygar Extrait de Parfum. Beautiful fragrance right here. Thanks Bvlgari for reworking it and bringing it back. I do like this fragrance right here. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance, or what do you think of the original Tygar? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Why do you love Tygar? I would love to hear your comments below. And if you've tried this one, did you smell the changes that I detected on this review? Let me know in the comments below. As long as it is respectful to others and myself, it's going to be there. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Most likely Desert Moroccan, the return, the noir version. I will hack that as well. It's already been sprayed and done. I just got to record the review. So I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless. Take care. Peace.